Yeah, I think the only thing that actually bothers me or sort of scares me a little bit about social media, not immensely, but it's in the back of my mind, it's a concern, but it does, and especially younger kids like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, whatever, they spend more time than us on social media. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, yeah.
scrolling all day long on like TikTok and these things. And I guess my only concern about it is um I just think that when you're constantly scrolling through these really short little micro videos,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many of them out there, I feel like it sort of trains them. I worry, does it? I guess it's more of a question than a
Mm-hmm.
worry because I don't know and I don't want to overreact to new things.
Right.
But does it does it train their brains to have a way shorter attention span to all general things in life?
Um.
Movies, music, everything. Because, I mean, obviously it trains them to have a shorter attention span in that context of scrolling on social media. That's not a question. But my question is, does that training for their brains to have this shorter attention span, does that translate into all things in life, or does it only affect how they view social media videos? I
You
don't
know,
I don't know.
That's a good question. There's two things I'm going to say to that. One is I'm seeing a lot more apps coming out that actually talk about doom scrolling and saying like, hey, instead of doom scrolling,
Hmm.
use this app, which actually maybe educates somebody about a certain topic. Or I'm seeing that angle being pitched a lot, which is like stop doom scrolling.
Yeah.
The second thing I want to say, I heard about this company that actually was immensely. They're actually doing. They were really successful, and this was their product. They app on your phone that it basically just uh blocks your phone or something after like half an hour. You can set how much you want to do. So like even if you're doom scrolling in like half an hour, it just stops it. It like blocks
Yeah.
your phone. Or like it is, I think one of their product also is like it comes with like an like a device, like an alarm clock or something. So like in
Interesting.
30 minutes the alarm clock goes off and you have to put your phone on the alarm clock for it to stop. And it's basically like a way to tell you like stop doom scrolling kind of thing. And
Snooze that bitch.
snooze that bitch, yeah. So and the fact that those are getting popular kind of tells me like there is a bit of like a push against it, because clearly like
Yeah.
the world is waking up and saying social media is addictive.
Yeah. Well,
It's
well, here
highly addictive.
it is. Well, here's the problem with it. We were pitched this whole notion that it's good for us and that it helps connect us, and
Yeah.
it doesn't. And we know that now. People are starting to realize that. Thank God.
Yes,
Now
yes,
that's a good
yes.
thing. So that's positive. I think that the only entity, it's kind of like with, well, I don't know if this might not be a good analogy, but with self-driving cars, we're sort of pitched this notion that this is going to be good for us.
Right,
But
yeah, yes.
really, the only people it genuinely benefits the most are the giant mega billionaire owners of companies.
Sure.
And I do think social media is the same way, and I'll tell you why. I think that capitalism and consumerism is fueled by envy.
Hmm.
If you remove envy, I don't think it exists. I don't think it can exist, at least not even close to the scale that it does now. Because it's about comparison, and it's about look what they have, look what he has, look what my neighbor has that I don't have.
Right,
And that
yes.
FOMO, that fear of missing out, that envy, it just wells up inside you. And it happens to all of us, and it drives you to want more, more, more. And I think that with what I see about social media is it's just this constant sometimes feels inescapable, but it actually is escapable, and that's the positive side. You can escape it. You don't have to get on TikTok and scroll. You can not do that. So that's
Right.
it. It is escapable, but it is, like you said, there's an addictive property to it, or habit forming property to it, and there's this dull, numb comfort in doing it. And what I see is that it I do think it trains people to be in a state of constant comparison to other people's lives that aren't even accurately portrayed through the social media, but nonetheless, it just gives everybody FOMO constantly.
Right.
And it's all based on lies because it's just an image that's being projected. But my hope is that people are realizing more and more that it really is just a projected image and a facade for the most part, and it's all bullshit. So I don't think everybody's a bunch of idiots. I think people, as you said, they start to catch on to things, and they realize.
Yeah.
They realize, look, this is not good for my brain, and I'll tell you the other. And so because the thing is, it is beneficial to these billionaire owners of companies to throw tinder on the fire and stoke us all up into a state of hyper consumerism, so that and how do you do that? You fire the flames of envy in us, and FOMO and options and barrage of possible things you could own and or buy, or if you get this filler, you'll be this person. You could look like this person. You could use this filter. You could be someone else.
Right.
And I think that the only people and I guarantee it is benefiting a small handful of very rich business owners who are trying to sell stuff. I mean, look, in a hyper capitalist society, like, you have to get people to want stuff. You have to get them to want more stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you do that? Well, social media, I think, helps. I think it helps to fuel that.
Yes, I think most people are getting kind of annoyed by it. In fact, there has been a push. I think Australia has already done it. I think the UK and Canada are going to do it soon, where they're going to restrict social media use for kids, because it's almost established at this point that there are people who prey on kids using social media. It's actually pretty horrendous.
Wow.
And yeah, so I think,
and as a father, that's got to be a real,
very scary.
Yeah, not a good thing for you to hear.
Megs puts photos of our daughter on social media, on her Instagram and stuff. I don't.
Yep.
And I'm not saying what she's doing is wrong, but I don't, because I saw somewhere that I don't, and people do a lot of fear mongering too. But somebody posted that you posting your videos of your child online, predators can get a lot of information about them by looking at the pictures. They can tell where they, where they spend time, where they go to daycare, all those things. And
So
it just
creepy.
kind of scared me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to share anything about my daughter online. I'm just going to let I'm not going to stop my wife
people
to do
could
it.
people could take your wife's face or my wife's face and create an AI porn slut out of it and jerk off to it. It's really messed up.
Really
That's
messed
totally
up.
within the realm of possibility.
It's really messed up.
And they could do it with us too, and I bet they are. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Somebody's
sure,
jerking off to my face photoshopped onto that costume Pamela Anderson's wearing on the cover of that Barb movie, whatever that movie is, with all the black leather.
Whichever one of our listeners is doing that, stop
You
it.
stop it immediately.
Stop it.
Cease.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, it's true. It's super creepy. I think some ex-girlfriend of Elon Musk's was suing some company because she had got wind that some guys were doing that with her, making AI stuff to, so it's pretty gross.
It's disgusting because the thing is, and I mean, you can't blame technology for this. You got to blame people, unfortunately, because technology is just a tool, but there are people who will absolutely abuse it and use it to do all kinds of things. And we're just getting started with AI. We're just getting started with all the content creation that AI can do. And yeah, you're seeing some amazing things that people are doing, but there's a flip side. There are also people doing kind of skeevy things with it, because there are absolutely AI generators that will do sexually explicit videos. And I don't even want to think about the shit people are doing on there.
Yeah, but that's also what laws are for, and we're in an awkward adjustment period. But I think there will definitely be laws to protect people against some invasions of privacy and things of this nature.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I feel like it's already kind of slowly starting.
It has to be.
I think somebody already mentioned that I'm going to say 100%. I heard about a case where somebody was sued because they used someone's image kind of without consent. That's why I think now, even if you go to like Gemini, Chat GPT, or Claude, and you try to like use tell them to create like, something out of like something that's copyrighted or like a famous person, sometimes you will get a message saying that this is not allowed, this is not
That's
allowed.
true.
But
That's true. It's
yeah.
not that easy to breach copyrights. I mean, social media is, it'll stop you. I mean, I used I don't know, I wanted to post a clip from one of our episodes. It was episode 20 specifically, where we were excited that we had made it to 20 episodes as a podcast. And I had that goofy, funny, like musical clip to accompany the speech I gave about it. And it was like, it was just this famous, it was the graduation march theme, whatever it's called, Pomp and
Yes.
Circumstance. That's the piece, Pomp and Circumstance. And, it was just this goofy orchestral thing of that. But I tried to use it in a clip, and I wasted my time making that clip because I could not post it anywhere. It was stopping me because I had gotten that song from a YouTube clip, of Pomp and Circumstance. And I tried to use it, and I honestly didn't think anyone would care. I mean, it's like a classical piece. It's like public. You would think it would be public domain or something. But apparently the way that works is, although classical compositions, let's say by Johann Sebastian Bach or Beethoven or Mozart or whatever, although those are public domain, the recordings of them are not. So if the San Francisco so-and-so orchestra did a physical recording of a performance,
Right.
there are legal repercussions to using that without permission or without payment.
Okay.
But
That
the
makes
song itself, you could make a recording of it yourself and put it in something, and it's like par for the course.
Yeah, I wondered about that because I obviously have a little girl who, she's getting into princesses and Disney and fairy tale stuff right now. So, I do this all the time. When we were in Mexico, we were at a restaurant, and she was getting antsy because kids don't want to sit around a restaurant. They want to, run around, do things. So
Yeah.
I would pull
That's
out
like
Gemini.
my wife. Once we finish eating at a restaurant, we got to get up and get out of there. She doesn't want to be there anymore.
I mean, what's the point of sitting?
We're not eating.
Let's go.
Like, don't you want to people watch a little? No. I want to go home. Get out of
Get
here.
the hell out of
This
here.
is a nightmare. Get me out of here.
We are done.
We're done here. We did what we came to do. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, I would use Gemini to say like, make me like an image with like a find the animal kind of theme. So like make an image with like jungle animals. So it would make me an image with like jungle animals like hidden. So I would like hold it up to my daughter. I'd be like, okay, find the tiger, find the bear, find this, and it's great. Like it kept her busy. It got us through a lot of meals with very little friction from her side. But then I would do the same because now she's into fairy tales. I would be like, okay, make me an image with all the fairy tale characters like Snow White, Red Riding Hood, and immediately it would say, nope, this violates copyright. And I'm like, how? I thought those were all public domain stories. Like, I guess maybe some way like Disney or maybe someone's blocking it. I don't know. Maybe there's some German company that's like, no one's going to use our fairy tales.
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm Foundation.
Brothers Grimm.
Der Bruder Grimm.
Brothers Chat GPT.
Hals! Stop!
Not use our. Isn't that funny that so many fairy tales came out of Germany, man?
I know. It is. It's so weird. And so many of them, like the way they sort of teach the lesson to the child will be like, somebody's on fire or someone fell into a well and got eaten by snakes. It'll be like the worst, the most horrendous, nightmarish death. Yeah. And it's for like a 7-year-old to fall asleep to, you know? It's like, what are those Germans thinking?
I know. I guess Walt Disney
was that
like,
normal for them to think about that stuff for children? What?
Like, there must be a better way to teach your kids, like, not to, like, trust strangers. Or
without the
not
trauma.
To, like,
Spare my child the trauma.
Yeah.
But it makes
Walt Disney was like, no way, we need to tone it down a little.
oh yeah, a lot of it. Well, that castle in Disneyland is based on Neuschwanstein, which it was King Ludwig's castle over in Germany, in southern Germany, Bavaria.
No way. Have you gone there?
Yeah,
I know
I
you've gone to
have. I've been
Germany.
there like 2 or 3 times. Yeah,
Nice.
to Neuschwanstein. It's a
Nice.
gorgeous castle. King Ludwig or Ludwig, he was sort of the black sheep of his family, and he spent a lot of money and time working on making that castle. And back in his day, his family would deride him about it, and they wanted him to stop. You're wasting your time. You're wasting our family money. Making this giant, gorgeous castle. Nobody gives a shit. What are you doing? And he's just like, I have to make this castle. And he never completely finished, at least the interior of it, which is kind of sad. But they've had to pick up some of the slack where he wasn't able to leave finish. But it's gorgeous from the outside. It's such an insane idyllic castle that draws tourism from all around the world. And it's just funny that in his day, where he wasn't accepted by his family and they didn't understand what he was doing, they thought he was just wasting their money and time. But man, that thing has become one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world. and it draws so much money for somebody is making a lot of money because he had that castle designed and built. So it is funny that in his family they just hated him for it. What are you doing? You're wasting our time. Yeah, but it's a gorgeous castle, and that's Neuschwanstein, and that is what that princess castle, that Disney castle in Disneyland, that's what it's based on. But it is funny because when you, it's like you have these horrible stories that are based around these gorgeous buildings, and you're like, how is this juxtaposition happening? Why is there a goblin eating the liver of a child and then right across from this beautiful castle? But when you read those stories, it does help you to understand how Werner Herzog turned out the way he has, has the psyche that he has. He may have been. He may have been spoon-fed a few of those Brothers Grimm stories in his childhood.
Yeah.
More than a few, maybe.
Probably more than a few. Yeah. I mean, and probably the original ones, not the wimpy Disney ones.
Yeah, not the watered down ones where he just fell off a building, no big deal, quick death. Right.
Yeah.
In the original one, vines grow out the side of the castle and eat his flesh.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I know.
Burn this book.
We're just going to put this one away. This is definitely
We're just
not
going to table this.
Story time. Story time. Yeah.
Save this for when you're older, like 35. Yeah.
Fairy tales sure have come a long way, but
I wonder if there are people who write modern day fairy tales. That would be cool. I hope there are.
Yeah. As a dad, there are some really good children authors out there who have now become almost legend because they have been doing it for a while, so they have really great material. There's this woman called Julia Donaldson. I didn't butcher her name. I'm sure any parent knows about her. She is her books are great. My kid loves them. From what I know here, a lot of kids love her stuff. So I'm sure at some point she's going to become quite big. But at the same time, I'm trying to think of someone who's maybe a little bit more famous. But she's definitely someone
That's
who
interesting.
Yeah, has she has a bunch of work that's out there, and
Bob Odenkirk has a children's book he wrote and published.
I played Better Call Saul.
Yes, yeah. Maybe you should. Fun fact, by the way, and my wife reminded me of this. But he wrote. Bob Odenkirk actually wrote the Matt Foley skit with Chris Farley down by the motivational speaker.
He did.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk apparently wrote that.
Oh my goodness,
it's amazing.
I've first time I saw him was Better Call Saul. I'm sorry, in Breaking Bad. He was great, obviously, in
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. And
Yep.
I saw a little bit of Better Call Saul. He was great there too. But then I saw other shows where I started to see him, and I was like, man, this guy's pretty funny. He has like a cameo on Arrested Development in one episode. He's absolutely hilarious in it. Like
He
it's
he's always good.
yeah,
He's awesome. He's great.
yeah.
I liked that movie he was in. Nobody, wasn't it
Yeah,
called
Mr.
Nobody?
Nobody. I never saw it, but I heard a lot of great things
It was
about it.
good. It was really entertaining. It was a good,
Okay.
tight, well done. Yeah, it was really good. Um,
Yeah. We're about nearing about 1.5
nearing,
hours on this, so I
yeah.
think why don't you put that poetry book in your lap to some good use and
Yeah.
maybe top us
Okay.
off, top off the
Okay.
episode with some nice poetry. I know our listeners love that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah.
I wanted to real quick say that I do have a song of the day.
Oh,
So I just want
nice.
to throw it out there. Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy.
Tin Lizzy.
This is Thin Lizzy's 1972 hit "Whiskey in the Jar." Did not chart in the USA upon its original release, failing to make the Billboard Hot 100. While it was a massive success in Europe, reaching number 1 in Ireland, not surprisingly, and number 6 in the UK in 1973, the band did not achieve their first U.S. top 40 hit until 1976 with the song "The Boys Are Back in Town." And
Right.
we've all heard that song too.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. You know?
Yep.
And for
Yep.
the longest, my whole life, I thought the words were, "The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town." But it's "The boys are back in town."
Yeah.
And I thought that it was, because I thought the words were "the boys of Bacon Town," I thought that it was about Kevin Bacon and his brothers celebrating together and getting into mischief together, and it has nothing to do with that, and it's not about Kevin Bacon, and the word bacon's not in the song at all. And in my mind, for years, hearing that on like classic rock radio stations, I thought it was "The boys of Bacon Town." I just thought it was about Kevin Bacon. "The Boys Are Back in Town" was a U.S. top 40 hit, which came later after "Whiskey in the Jar." And Boys of Bacon Town, I still can't stop saying it. "The Boys Are Back in Town" in 1976 was a hit. "Whiskey in the Jar" was released in 1972 and did not chart until early 1973. So it was one of those songs that didn't get huge right away when it was
Okay.
released.
Okay.
"Creep" by Radiohead was that way too, actually. It was not a massive hit overnight when it was released. It took, I think, like a year or something for it to gain steam.
Wow.
It's funny when you hear those stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thin Lizzy, the band, they are credited with being one of the first and most influential hard rock bands to use double lead guitar in their songs.
Oh.
In other words, if you have a lead guitar part, you play the same part again, maybe with a different guitar or a different tone or a different amp, and change it slightly, and you just record it, you double it, you record the same part over itself to give it a fuller, fatter, bigger, wider sound. It's an
Okay.
extremely commonly used studio technique. And
Yeah.
so Thin Lizzy is credited as being one of the first and most influential hard rock bands to use that technique of doubling lead guitar or doubling guitar like that. They weren't the first to do it, but they were very influential in doing it on some songs that got huge, and hard rock was really huge back then. So yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, it had been done before, but not by a hard rock band, or at least not such an influential, famous band. And yeah, it seems like in music, the biggest bands are not the ones who invented those sounds first. They're just the ones who refine it and employ it in a hit song and get credit for it. It's interesting how that goes. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of just a little backstory on the song "Whiskey in the Jar" and the band Thin Lizzy. And I love that song "Whiskey in the Jar." I love that riff. And I bet you, as a Metallica fan, I bet you've heard the Metallica cover of that song.
I was going to say that's how I actually came across the song in the first place, is through Metallica, because Metallica came out with like I think, an album called Garage Incorporated,
Huh.
where they just covered a bunch of songs from like a bunch of famous bands. Whiskey in the Jar was one of them, and that's the first version of it I heard. It's pretty much the same except way heavier, and has the Metallica kind of like twist on it. But yeah, I liked it. I remember in college on St. Patrick's Day, it was usually always played somewhere. 'Cause
Oh
why
yeah.
wouldn't you, right? Why
Right.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no wonder that song when it came out in 1972 was successful in Ireland. Makes perfect sense. And I think Thin Lizzy I'm 99%. I think they were from Ireland. And
Lizzy.
yeah, it's cool because the lead singer of Thin Lizzy, and he has a really cool voice, but the lead singer of Thin Lizzy was a black dude, or at least part black. I mean, he looks black-ish, and he
No
was
way.
he was probably a mix of white and black, but he's a black dude, and he was like Irish. He was like
Wow.
a black guy from Ireland, and he was like, the lead singer of this band that went on to be this huge hard rock band. So that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
He's a great singer.
Yeah, I remember like for that reason, like my it's funny you say that. Like even like my dad, for the longest time, he thought the guy from Dire Straits was a black dude.
That's funny.
Yeah, because this is you could like
Mark
you couldn't
Knopfler.
just look. Yeah, you couldn't just look up things. You had to like listen to the song and
That's funny.
and look at the album art and yeah.
Yeah. There were more mysteries.
Yeah.
That's really funny. So when he found out it was a white dude, what was his reaction?
He was just like, whoa.
Blow my socks off.
Yeah, he was like, wow, his voice, he's like, it doesn't sound like a white guy and all that. He was-
Soulful.
yeah, it took a while
Yeah.
for him to wrap his head around it, but
Yeah.
he I think but Dire Straits was one of the best bands he introduced me to in terms of
Yeah.
music. Like I love
Yeah, I
Dire
love them.
Straits.
Me
Yeah.
too. I love
Yeah.
them. You introduced me to that song, Brothers in Arms, which I love that song.
Oh yeah, it's a great song, and I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm sure even if you for those of you guys who don't know the Dire Straits, go listen to either Money for Nothing or Sultans of Swing. You've probably heard those songs played somewhere, either for sure Money for Nothing you've heard in like a car
Money for
commercial.
Nothing. I love that riff. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. An interesting thing about that guy, he never used a pick. He played with his fingers.
Oh, I
and
forgot that.
that's why he can play so well. Like if you listen to Sultans of Swing and you try to like learn it, it's hard. It's not easy to learn that song. Like you need to be pretty good at the guitar to learn some of the things that he does. And because
yeah.
he doesn't use a pick. He plays
That's
an electric
insane.
guitar and he finger picks the whole thing.
That's so crazy. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, even Money for Nothing, that's a great riff, and you're like, oh, that's got to be a pick. No, it's not a pick.
Yeah, that's so interesting. A little change like that can just make it possible to get a certain sound that you just wouldn't get without it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I love that riff to Money for Nothing. It's so cool. It seems so, I've never tried to play it, but it sounds so simple, and yet
Yeah,
I bet it's a lot harder to actually make it sound like that than it seems.
maybe, yeah. But I will say, like, in terms of a guitar, like a distortion tone, in terms of a song intro, it's really, really good. Like, it makes you, like,
know.
sit up and, like, pay attention because you're like, what is that
know.
sound?
I'm like, I want to go on this ride.
Yeah. If you're in the car, forget about it. You're definitely increasing your speed by at least 5 kilometers,
Seriously.
5 miles per hour.
Yeah, rock music is the best for car rides. It's the best for
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
Just
Because
feel like
it's
an adventure.
Yeah, it's just the right amount of adventure. Because, like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because you're going on an adventure, and you're traveling somewhere, but you're also kind of introspective because you might be alone in your car, you might be with one friend, but you're not in like a club and you're not in a crowded shopping mall. You're just trapped alone in your car, but you're also on an adventure. So there's an introspective side of like an internal side of but then there's also that external fact of the adventure you're on physically.
Yes.
So rock is just perfect for that,
Yeah.
It just works in that mindset. But yeah, so I think if we have time, I'll read this poem.
Let's do it.
So this is from a little book of poetry called Fool's Sermon.
Nice.
And this Fool's Sermon, this poetry book was written by Daniel Higgs. He's a musician and a poet, and you should Google him if you've never heard of him. Daniel Higgs, Higgs. He's a very interesting, eccentric guy. He's really talented with wordplay, and I was introduced to him by Zashi's brother, Alex, who I interviewed on this show. And
Right.
Alex is a huge Daniel Higgs devotee. He's a huge fan of Daniel Higgs, and he's followed him. He's like sort of a disciple of Daniel Higgs. I mean, he's followed him around the planet or around the country to see quite a number of his shows. I mean, when Daniel Higgs is in town or anywhere near town within 2 hours drive, Alex is getting in that car and he's going to see Daniel Higgs. And he took me once to a Daniel Higgs show at a venue called, I think, Zebulon, maybe, in L.A. area, Los Angeles area, because when Alex was in town, he knew Daniel Higgs was going to be playing, and he had to seize the opportunity to see him. And he was like, Matt, if you want to come, you can. And I went, and I actually did go and saw Daniel Higgs perform, and it was quite a, speaking of an adventure, it was quite a journey of the mind and soul watching this eccentric performer in that venue. But it definitely left an impression on me. And so Alex, I mean, one thing he did was I rode with him in my car on the morning of my wedding when I'm, marrying Zashi, his sister. Yes. And he, we're suited up in our outfits and stuff. And on the long car ride, he played for me a Daniel Higgs song. And it was a really weird experience, but it was also a cool experience. It was a song called Love Abides. And Daniel Higgs will play, like, it's just him with a guitar and his voice. And he kind of sings in a way like this. And he plays these kind of Indian influenced guitar licks. Almost sounds like a sitar the way he plays, but he's playing it on like a guitar.
Okay.
And so Alex played, and it's like a lo-fi recording. And the song was 9.5 minutes long. I mean, it was a long song, and it didn't have a chorus or verse kind of structure. It just kind of goes with itself and takes you on this adventure. And Alex played that for me on the way to my wedding when I'm in a tuxedo. And it was just a really funny moment that I look back on fondly, but it was and then after the song ended, when it was 11 minutes long, after the song ended, Alex turned to me and he's quietly I think there's a lot about love we can take away from this, or something like that. So Daniel Higgs, this is a book of poetry Daniel Higgs wrote and published, A Fool's Sermon, and his name is nowhere in his book. There's no way to know who wrote it. He does not credit himself in the book anywhere that I can see. There's just a picture of him on the last page, but that's it. No name. Anyway, so I'll read this poem by Daniel Higgs. This is called Great Universe. A droplet upon the brow, as rare and as fragrant as catastrophe will allow. I am the sanest man I ever met. Please, driver, hold the door, and when we board that worthy vessel and journey another day, heartbreak is as joyous as the mighty oak uprooted, the slender reed springs upright. Here, better take this song with you and remain vigilant throughout the night. As the dreaming intensifies and the symbols grow more dense, keep to the open spaces where you might feel less immense, where holographic specks whisper the rest in weird enfablements. Flotsam, chaff, and tinder, stubble in the field, ruins, fragments, potsherds, beneath the dust concealed. trampled by the convoy of nature's holy caravan, ashes thrown into the wind, tears sprinkled on the sand. Fair dawn blushes rosy, yielding to the blue, one more resurrection till I reunite with you.
Nice.
So think about that, everyone, and figure out how it relates to your life and why it's important to you.
Yeah. Thing is, we have that all on tape, so if you need to listen to that again, you just rewind it by 20 seconds and you should.
Yes. Do it once a day. But
Until-
anyway, did you want to send us into the week with a positive note, Curran?
I mean, I think it's best to leave with that. I
Yeah,
think
maybe you're right.
That was good. Yes, that was a good piece of poetry.
Yeah.
Something worth like leaving with. I feel
Yeah, check out Daniel Higgs. Google that,
yeah.
man, if you get a
Yeah,
chance.
yeah.
Look him up.
it's nice. I like making recommendations on here because I mean, Matt and I are good friends, but I didn't know much about Daniel Higgs. I think I'll check
Yeah.
him out a little bit because I do like poetry and I do like, I just poetry with good music. Yeah, that's a combination that I'm always about. So I might
Yeah.
check that out, especially when I go for a drive.
You know what we should try one day when we do this is have you recite a poem and I'll like play some notey little guitar thing in the background while you recite it. That might be
Yeah, it
kind of
could be
fun.
fun.
Combine music with poetry. That would be cool.
Yeah,
All
that'd be
right.
cool.
Well, if you don't have anything else, I suppose we can bid the good folks adieu for today.
Adieu, everybody.
Thank
Let me
you for
just play us
listening.
off. Thank you for tuning in.
Nice.
On that riff, I think we can call it. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by.
Yeah.
And we will talk to you later.
That riff felt especially appropriate, I think, after the Daniel Higgs
Yeah.
vibes.
I was like
Somehow.
ending with this riff. It seems nice.
Yeah.
So, a bit positive.
Yeah, like